Hello, hello, hello. This is Professor Jurus, and what I have, or what I'm putting together here, is a little video for um, people in my non-silver photography class on the things they're going to need to make negatives in this class. But it's also a video for someone that wants to get started with pinhole photography. So this will be a short video just showing you the things you'll need to produce pinhole negatives. And in our case, we're going to be using those to make alternative prints, like such as the print that you see right here, which is a Van Dyke Brown print that was actually shot on a 4x5 pinhole camera. And you can actually see myself right here, the shadow of myself, and the shadow of my pinhole camera right here photographing my Saab up at Lake Erie. Um, so these are the kind of negatives that you'll print or you'll shoot and you'll print. And there's a very unique feature about pinhole photography. If you notice, there was, again, this is a straight print, so nothing's been done to this other than printing it, contact printing it with Van Dyke Brown chemistry. But if you notice that the edges are dark in this is the kind of effect what you get with the pinhole camera. And the camera that I used to take this with was a zone 0 4x5 pinhole with a wide angle, but there's other ones out there that we're going to look at in this video. So but this is a standard wide angle 4x5 pinhole camera that created this image. So very beautiful things that can happen with the pinhole camera. So that's why we've chosen to go this route and use this camera for this class. So this is the camera that you want to get for this class, and this camera will enable you to take 4x5 film negatives and actually create 4x5 sheet film negatives using a pinhole and very dramatic type of images, and these will print beautifully for this non-silver class. So what we've done in the class is we kind of simplified it from all the different ways that you can make negatives and stuff that are large format negatives to down to this, which we're going back to the old ways. And I've used a 4x5 pinhole a lot over many years, and I always love it when I'm taking pictures with this. And there's actually a great surge in this now in the photography community. People are really bringing this back and pushing this, which is one of the reasons that these are available at B&H Photo. So this is a great price on this too. I'm really surprised that this isn't double this price. I have one of these. It's a great camera, and it's $63.95. And you'll notice that B&H even gives you free 2-day shipping. So just click that add to cart. The one you want to get again is the 4x5 wide angle. Now, if you want to jump up, I mean, you can jump up to any of these other cameras if you want to. If you want to do that, it's going to cost you a lot more money to. Like for example, if we would jump to the 8x10 camera, the 8x10 camera. Let's see if we can get one here. Yeah, the 8x10 camera goes up to $169, and so does all the other things that go with it, like the film holders and stuff that we're going to cover in this class. But this is just a great starting point, and I think if you're an artist, you're gonna end up using this a lot, and you may even carry on through the years just taking pictures with this, and set up your own darkroom and be able to create a lot of really cool artwork images. There's artists out there, photographers and artists that exclusively just shoot pinhole pictures. So it's a great way to work, and something I've always loved. So this is the way you want to start. So you want to order this one right here. Here's the B&H number right here, LE45 WABB, and it's in Baltic birch. And what you can do is, if you just Google pinhole cameras under B&H, this will come up, or you can actually just type in this B&H number and it'll come up. And just add this to your cart right there. Just go boom, and it's in your cart, and you're ready to go on to the next supply, which will be a film holder for this. And what the film holder does is the film holder will actually hold your sheet of 4x5 film that will go in the back of this. And I have another video on my YouTube channel that shows how to load the film holder and put the film in correctly, because that's very important. that you put the film in correctly and that you do load the film in complete darkness. So you have to understand that. Now let's look at some other views here of this camera. So with this view right here, what you're seeing, I think I can click that off. Yeah. With this view right here, what you're seeing is the back of the camera. And this piece of wood is actually where the film holder will go in. So this piece of wood is just keeping dust out of the camera right now. And basically what happens is these are two like dowel rods, and you simply pick these up in the air and you can put your film holder in there and then push these down, and it holds the film holder tight against the back of the camera there, so you can take the exposure. And then this is actually the part where it takes the picture. These shows that you have a tripod, so you could mount on the bottom of the camera so that you can photograph with the camera in a landscape mode or a portrait mode. So you would have the camera hooked to a tripod this way in the landscape mode, which was in my picture that I showed you earlier at the beginning of this photo. I had the camera in the landscape mode. And this is with the camera in the portrait mode. So if you wanted to do a vertical 4x5, this would, if you wanted to do a horizontal 4x5, you would attach this to your tripod right there. And actually, here's just the shutter right here. And all you simply do with the shutter is it has a little screw in it up here, and you'll simply push it over so that the pinhole is exposed. And then you'll time your, however long you're exposing it, 15, 20 seconds. You expose it, and then you'll push this back over and it'll cover up the pinhole, and then you're ready to take the film holder and put the dark slide back in, flip it over, and take another shot or move on. And B&H is cool because they actually let customers put some pictures up on the website to show to show things about the camera and so forth, that people that own the camera. So here's one of the camera with a film holder in it. I like to show you this. This is the way the film holder goes in there, and as I said, those bars will push it right against there, and that's the film holder that we're going to get to next year in the picture. But I did see a really cool picture in here that somebody put up that was done with the camera. So I don't think it shows the person's name, but this is the kind of thing, again, because you're taking pictures at these long time exposures with these pinhole cameras, you can create really ghosting images. And look how beautiful this water looks because of the pinhole camera, maybe a 15-20 second exposure. Same with this one. This could be during major traffic, and all these lines that you see right here are from cars going by because it's such a long exposure that you don't actually see the cars. They're not frozen, so you get that kind of effect. And here's another one. This one doesn't really have that much of an effect to it, but so here's your last look at it before we jump into the film holder. And again, you can pause the video at any time and write this information down, but this is all through the B&H photo and video website, so ordering it from New York. Now you can also have these ordered at the campus store if you need to have it ordered through them. Now here we are on the film holders that you'll need for the class. Now there's a number of different ways you can probably find some of these to use, but again, if you're in photography and you're really into this, I would recommend buying the brand new ones. You get two of them for this price, so they're about $75 a piece now. But these will last you if you take care of them the rest of your life. These are very well made 4x5 film holders, and below here you see some that are refurbished or remanufactured. Now I personally never like remanufactured, refurbished things, but supposedly these are like brand new, so they could save you quite a bit of money if you do decide to go this route. I guess it depends on what you what you want. So another way you can maybe look on eBay too and find some of these. The trouble with these is when you're buying them used. Now these are refurbished, these aren't used, and it says they're a top seller. But when you buy used ones, if they've been like sitting in somebody's car trunk and they're full of dust and stuff, they're going to add dust to your negatives, and they're really hard to clean out. So even when you get them, like when you get these brand new ones, I always carry mine in a separate bag that's just for my film holders. And if you're putting them in a regular camera bag with other things, you may want to put them in like an 8x10 Ziploc bag and seal them to keep the dust off of them and stuff. And also keep your orange anti-static cloth with you so that you can wipe them off before and after you load film. But these are the ones that you're getting. Again, here's the B&H number right here. You can just type in this number and this will come up, and you can go ahead and order the film holders. Or if you wanted to go with the remanufactured ones or refurbished ones, you can go with this thing right here. And you can get by with one of these. You only be able to take 2 pictures at a time. So if you like drive down to the cemetery or something, you could take 2 pictures, um, one on each side. You put one sheet of film on each side of this. But if you kept both of them, you could shoot 4 pictures. And the other thing you could do too is you could get a film loading bag. That is a bag that you put your hands into. It has kind of like sleeves on it, like on a long sleeve shirt, that are light tight, and you put your hands into it, and you could take this film holder and actually get an empty film box, and you could take the film out of this holder after you shot it. If you were like working out in the cemetery, or working out doing a bunch of landscapes, and you wanted to take more pictures, um, then you could take the film, out of this. Now, when I was in graduate school at Ohio State, I just started buying these, and they were pretty expensive back then too. But every time I got paid, I would buy a couple, and I ended up having a lot of them. And then when I went on my journeys taking pictures, I would never have to bother with changing film until I got back to wherever I was staying at night, and I would take all the film out and put it in a box that said exposed, and loaded up with fresh film. But I usually had enough that I could shoot all day with that. So um, again, it's just a matter of priorities where you want to put your money at. But these are very good film holders, and I highly recommend either one of them, I guess. So if you want to go the cheap route, you can go these, and they'll work fine for you, I'm sure. I'm not positive, but I've seen students use these before. But these are the brand new ones, and these are Toyo View, which is a very good name in view camera stuff. So that's it on the film holders. Again, you'll just need either one or two of these to get started. You can, if you want more, buy more. If you have the funding available, get all that you can get, and you'll be able to go out and take like 10, 20 pictures. If you had 5 of these, you could take 10 pictures. If you had 10 of them, you could take 20 pictures. So um, without having to, change film in the field or anything. Now here we are on the 4x5 sheet film, and I'm going to go over a couple different films here that I've used and talk about them. And then there's some other ones on here that I just saw that I don't know how long they've been carrying, but they're I think they've come out since the digital era. But you're welcome to try those too if you want to try them and see what the effect is. But so this is the one, this Ilford HP5. I use this film a lot. It's a really good film. It has an ISO or an ASA of 400. Right here, the International Standards Association, the film speed is 400. So it has a wide exposure, latitude, medium contrast. And with this 400, again, if you go back to photo one and you know about film speeds, this is a fairly fast film. And my in my case, I've always found that the faster the film speed is, a little bit better in a pinhole camera if you're not in bright sunlight. If you're going to be out at the beach all the time, or be out in open fields where there's a lot of sunlight, then you can use 100 speed film. But if you're going to be in different general situations, like maybe in a barn, maybe under an overpass, maybe in the woods, then the 400 speed film will definitely give you a better negative, because you won't have to expose that long, because you're already going to be at maybe 10 or 15 seconds. And with the 100 speed film, you might be at 60 seconds, 2 minutes, for exposure. So it all depends on how much sun is there, how much light. If you're doing things inside, you definitely want to use the 400 speed film. But again, Ilford's a brand name, and this is actually fairly cheap, $58 for 25 sheets, about $2 a sheet. If we look at the Kodak film, which again, I love the Kodak Tri-X film, and let's see, everybody, the price of it is a lot higher, so you're paying $38 for 10 sheets, and I would say you're going to probably at least shoot 50 sheets by the time the class is over. So here's a 50 sheet box of Tri-X, and it's $189. So you see, it's a lot pricier than the Ilford. So I think for a beginning student, unless you have a lot of money or you're really into this, then this is the film that I primarily shoot. But you could try one of the other ones. But I wanted to show you this film right here too. This is a no. The T-Max 100 film. Um, it has a dye layer in the film that will not let you print alternative processes with it. So let me repeat that. You cannot print alternative process prints with this film. I had a couple students buy this one time and develop it and like make negatives and then try to print it, and it just would not print. They left it under the exposure unit for hours, and it would not make a print. So you do not want to use T-Max 100 film. I've heard you can use T-Max 400, but I have not tried that. But let's go back up here to where I was at before. So this is the HP5. Now this film right here, you can try to use this film if you want to. It's a 200 speed film, but it's $29, so it's even lower in price, and it has a fun name, the Frankenstein film. So it's a panachromatic film, and this should work just fine for printing your alternative process prints. And then there was another one down here. It was this Cat Labs. And let's see what the ISO is on this. The ISO is only 80 on this one, so it's a fine grain film. So this film would be okay if you were shooting out in bright sun or shooting snow scenes or at the beach or something, but it would create really long exposures if you were trying to take anything inside or anything in a situation where there was not as much light, super bright, or like in a photography studio. So probably my choice for this class for this film is going to be this Ilford HP5 plus black and white negative film, and $58 for 25 sheets. And if you are primarily taking pictures outside in bright sunny areas, like that's already going to happen, then I would go ahead and get this Ilford FP4 black and white negative film that has an ISO of 125, so it's a lot slower. And you could definitely, you could use this in the woods and everything too, or in a lower light situation, but you're going to really have to make long exposures. So just want to point that out to you. But that's primarily it at film. You just you're going to get the film. You watch my YouTube video about how to put the film in the film holder, and you put the film in the film holder, and you're going to be all set to go. Now, once you have gone out and you've shot some negatives and exposed them, and you have them either in a box or you still have them in your film holders, and you come in, then what you're going to need to develop them in is a 4x5 developing tank. This is the one that I use, and I'll show you a couple other ones that are cheaper, but this is the one that I like. It'll do 4 sheets at a time, and it has these racks. I can actually pull up one of the racks here that you put the film into. That let's get this to slide up. There it is. So the film, each piece of film actually goes in one of these little holders, which is kind of the nice thing about it, that they don't slide out, and you actually can develop film like in your kitchen sink or something with these tanks, because the film, you can pour it in once, you pour the chemicals in one side, and then it pours out the other side after you've done developing. So it is a daylight developing tank. In other words, you go into a dark closet, a dark room, and with no safe lights on, a film loading room, and you're going to load the film into this tank, and then you can come out and like develop it in the developing sink like you would develop normal film. Now, there are other ways to develop your 4x5 film. If you're doing a lot of it, I use a dip and dunk process where I can do like 20-30 sheets at a time if I'm processing a lot. And That works great for that. And there's a video about that too on my YouTube channel about dip and dunk developing. So you might want to look into that. But so this is the tank that I recommend. But let's look at a couple other tanks too. So this is the Yankee film developing tank, and these tanks have been made like forever. They were around when I first started in photography 40 something years ago. So it's made of heavy plastic. It probably will crack if you drop it when it's full of chemistry because plastic breaks. But the way that this one works is it has this holder here that you actually can see a piece of film right here, and you slide the film, into this holder, and then put it in there, and then you can actually develop it. This is like a light block, so and you basically pour the chemistry in and out of the top of this when you're using it. And again, it's fairly simple and it works fine, and the price is right for a lot of people. So this is another alternative that you can get hold of. So I thought we would wrap it up then, because what I've done is covered for you the camera that you'll need for the class, the film holder that will hold the film, the type of film that you're going to put in it, and the developing tank to develop the film. Now there is, another thing you could also order if you're ordering is a film changing bag. Again, what I was talking about would on B&H, if you got a film changing bag, you can actually change. Just Google that in B&H, and you could buy one on Amazon too, and you could change your film in daylight. Like say I was out here at Lake Erie and I only had one film holder with 2 shots, but I wanted to make more. If I had that film changing bag, I could actually take that film holder, put it inside the changing bag, stick my my arms in through the light tight sleeves, and open up the film holder, take that film out, put it in a box that's light tight, close the box, get the new box of film, load film into it, um, and be ready to go again. Now they actually make these little film changing tents now too. The bags were always basically just a light tight shirt kind of thing that you put your hands in where the arms is, but the tents are actually have like a little rod. They look like a little miniature tent, like something maybe for if you had a small dog. A dog would go inside. And those are on B&H too, that are easier to work with. That the material's not coming down on top of you when you're loading it. So you might want to look at one of those too. And I actually had a student that actually made a loading box too out of a couple of cardboard boxes. And he was pretty ingenuitive in his work, but that's it. So if you have questions, we could discuss them in class, but otherwise that's how to get started with the Pinhole camera for the alternative non-silver photography class. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a ton of photographic information on there, and I want to just keep you posted on everything. So hit that notification button, and that'll let you know when the next video comes up. So thank you.